Under later capitalism, people were forced into factories where they worked on production lines. In a production line, each person in the line worked on only a very small piece of the item. In this way, no single person had any real ownership of the item produced at the end. This was because each of them only made a small piece of the whole. This left people with a feeling of emptiness. They no longer made whole things for themselves that they could take pride in. They no longer practiced customary arts or crafts. The effect of this sort of removal of native and customary arts can be seen more recently on Aboriginal people stopped from practicing their native arts. Aborigines have turned to drink and drugs since they have been prevented from practicing their tribal and native arts. The same effects were seen among farming people moved to the cities and made to work in factories all over Europe. In this way, a factory-made or mass-produced item made on a production line does not have an aura because no single person gets a chance to put their own authentic aura into it. They do not get a chance to lovingly work on the item. It is moved along the production line quickly to another worker down the line. Each artist becomes a worker and he or she becomes specialized in a particular and single job that takes care of a small part of the process. This meant that the worker could no longer do anything but a small job that was a part of the bigger process. Soon, they could no longer make entire handmade pieces of art and felt valueless. In this way, capitalist specialization stopped authentic art with aura and made artists into workers. These workers could not do anything any longer but make little parts that only were of any use as a whole. This made the worker helpless in the capitalist system. Benjamin believed certain items had authentic aura or glow. Examples of this were oil paintings and portraits that were done before the 19th century. He believed that the photography that replaced oil painting had less aura or glow as it was a mechanical reproduction or copy of a real object. In much the same way, film was made up of many small photographs of an object run together mechanically to make a moving picture. Benjamin said that these examples of photography and film had less aura than handmade things like oil paintings. Benjamin also believed film created shock in art that stopped viewers from properly watching it. Benjamin thought that what Australian art critic, Robert Hughes, calls the shock of the new stopped people from reacting to film and what it had to say. Film bypassed people's minds. This was very much like the new, 20th century tactics in war, such as shock, made through paratroopers and tanks that the Nazi Germans were using in war between 1939 and 1945. Benjamin compared the use of shock in war tactics and film as used by the Nazi Germans who were his enemy and caused his suicide at Portobello in 1941 from a morphine overdose. Benjamin's writings were burned by the Nazis and he killed himself rather than fall into their hands when he could not escape from Spain. Why should we care if something is mechanically reproduced? Mechanical reproduction has produced many items society needs that it could not provide itself with during feudal times. Only factories could provide enough mechanically reproduced goods that allowed living standards to rise to the level they are today in some places of the world. However, mechanical reproduction can replace enough of what is real or original in this world with perfect copies so that society cannot tell what is real any longer. This is the theme in the recent film trilogy, The Matrix, where humans live in a simulacra of the real world. A simulacra is a complete copy that is so perfect that the humans living within it can no longer tell the difference from the original reality. These ideas were made popular by the French philosopher, Jean Baudrillard, and in the film, The Matrix, a hollowed-out copy of his book, Simulacra and Simulation is used to hide computer disks by the film's hero. Part of simulacra is hyperreality, which is discussed in the Borges myth. In the Borges myth, there is a kingdom that is ruled by a king who wants an exact map of his empire. His map makers laid a map over the entire kingdom that was 1-to-1 scale, so much so that people walked on the map and soon forgot it was even there. Soon the territory ceased to exist below the map and all that remained was the map that people walked on. Soon the kingdom fell into ruins and only deserts remained as the map began to wear away, deserts of the real. Hyperreality can be thought of as the real having the neo-real introduced into it. As the neo-real inflates, it replaces the real which was the original reality. Soon the neo-real takes over the real and replaces it, only to have a new neo-real start to inflate and take over the past neo-real. Very soon nothing original at all is left in what humans call reality. There is only simulacra or perfect copies of the real.
社会很可能最终像在《The Matrix》里一样，